Hi everybody, it's Kristine and I am here today with my next Graphic 45 brand ambassador project for you. I've used the Deck the Halls collection, the 12 by 12 collection pack, to make this cute little tag album. Now I'm going to show you how I created the one tag with all of the pieces. So this is meant to be used with the Graphic 45 blog post that will tell you how to prepare everything for your album. Now I will also show you how to do the corset style binding if you have not done that before either. This album is only using 6 of the tags. 9 come in the collection. You could use all 9 of them to make a larger album if you wanted to, and it would be just fine to do so. I only did 6 to add to my little box here. It is an MDF box that I have created and decorated with the Graphic 45 Deck the Halls paper, and it is the perfect size for that little tag album. So stay tuned for the tag tutorial. I'm going to be starting on the back side of my tag and starting with my first piece that I have cut with my tag die. I'm just going to apply my adhesive and adhere this right down to the back side of my tag. Now I did use Distress ink. I used my Graphic 45 Brick Red ink around the edges of all of my pieces to help them to stand out a little bit. You could use any color you want to here, but I chose the red. Now once I have this on, for the back side of my tags, I have a little photo mat here, and it can go in the landscape or the portrait orientation, and you can switch back and forth. I've got a border strip down here that I'm going to be using as a kind of stop piece for this one. Once the background paper is on, I'm going to take my border strip paper here, and I'm putting adhesive on both sides of this piece, and I'm placing it down here at the bottom of my tag, just past where that curved part is for the bottom piece. And now I have my photo mat here that I'm going to tuck underneath, just like this. And it will be a removable photo mat on mine so that I can place 2 photos. Now, if you want this to be just stationary in here, you can adhere this down and you can adhere it on either side. You could have also put it this direction here and have a landscape photo mat as well. For now, I'm going to leave this side plain and I'm going to flip over to the front side. I'm going to take my next piece that I've cut with my tag die and adhere this one to the front side of my tag. Now what I did was I used 3 of the patterns in solids and I've alternated, and I've just done them the same order throughout the album. So there are some papers of each one on the front and on the back. Now, once I have this on the front, I'm going to take one of my cards and I'm going to adhere it right down to the center. Next, I'm going to take my flower petals and I'm just using my fingers to shape mine. You could also use a ball tool. It gives you a lot of really good texture here, but you can also use your fingers if you don't have the ball tool to use, and it works just fine. On this little tiny one, I'm just going to push those up in the air. And then my leaves, I'm going to give them a little bit of texture as well and bend those. Then I'm just going to apply a little bit of adhesive to the centers, and I'm staggering my petals here. And then taking my little tiny one in the middle and adding it here, just like this. And then I'm going to just use my pencil to press in the center. Now you can add stamens here. I think I'm going to add pearls after everything is on my tag, so I'm going to leave my center plain for now. I'm going to then take my chipboard pieces that I've prepared. I'm going to add my snowflake here at the top where the ornaments are dangling. I'm going to have my flower be here, and I'm going to take my holly leaves and I'm going to tuck them under just like this. And then I will use these leaves at the top. So I'm just going to slowly add my embellishments on one at a time, layering them up. Then I have another piece of my border strip, and I'm going to place it down here as a banner piece. Now you'll notice I'm putting things mostly on the right side of the tag on the front. That's because I am going to be doing the corset style binding, and that's going to be on the left-hand side. So I don't want to have any pieces over there too close to the edge. Now on some of the other tags, I did place pieces over there, but I placed them after I pierced my holes and put my eyelets in. So in the next step, that's what we're going to do. So I just did that step before placing any pieces like this. Once my pieces are on, I'm going to come over here and take my photo mat out just so I don't accidentally pierce a hole in it. I'm going to use my centering ruler here, and I'm going to mark in the center and then 1 1/4 inches on each side of center. And then I'm going to use my crocodile to punch my holes first. And I have this, I believe, set at 1/2 inch. It is set at 1/2 inch from that edge. And then I'm going to take this and set my 3 eyelets. Now on the tags that I added something here to the left-hand side, once I had these on, I added pieces around where those eyelets were, nothing over top of my eyelets. So once that's finished, I can go ahead and place my little photo mat back underneath the little band in the back side. And then I'm going to add my ribbon to the top. So I've taken 2 pieces of ribbon. One is wider, one is thinner. They're both cut to 5 inches. And I'm just going to take these right through here on the top. And I'm going to pull them until they are in the center. And then just tuck this one under. And I'm just creating a knot. I'm not tying them or doing anything else. So I'm just going to fan this out. So that both of the ribbons are flat on each side and you see both of the colors of the ribbon, just like this. Now I'll go ahead and add this piece back in. Now I am going to add just a little bit of extra decoration on the back side, not a whole lot. I am going to leave my photo mats as pull-out mats, so I'm just going to be placing one of my fussy cut pieces. It does have some Nuvo drops on the flowers to make them sparkle, and I'm going to be tucking this here underneath of my border strip and making sure that it goes around this hole here with the petals. So to get this in the correct position, I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive here and then just a little tiny bit on the ends of these 2 pieces. And I think that leaf is going to be on the border strip as well. And then I'm just going to slide this right down in here, move this out of the way, and then place this down here like this. Now, if you are leaving your photo mats stationary so that they are not removable, you might want to cut smaller pieces so that you don't have as much overlapping your photo mats here so you can see your photo more, or you can leave these pieces off if you want to be able to just see the photo and just have the band, because it does cover up the photo. But again, since it's removable, you'll be able to see those photos when you take them out. The last thing I'm going to do is add some little flat back pearls starting on the front. I'm going to put one in the center of my flower, one in the center of my snowflake. one in the center of this little flower here, and then I have this red one that's a little bit larger, and I'm going to put it where that holly berry will go. So I'm going to start with that one and just tuck it right up underneath here like this. And I'm just using some shiny white ones for the centers of my flowers so it doesn't stand out too much. And I've got this assortment here, and it's actually perfect because it has the little blue ones too. But I'm just using the white ones, and then like I said, for the holly berry I am using the larger red one. I am going to let this dry, and then I'm going to flip over and I'm going to put one on the back side as well. Now for the back side, I'm just going to add a little bit in the center of my flower, and then I'm going to add this white one here, just like that, and then I'm going to let all of these dry. In the next part of the tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do this corset style binding. Now, I only left a very small little tail on mine, so if you want to tie yours in a bow, you're going to need to cut your ribbon longer than the 24 inches that I will tell you in the tutorial. So maybe 30 or 32 inches, depending on how long you want your bow to be. Or if you don't really feel comfortable working with really small tails, you might want to cut your ribbon to about 30 inches and then trim these when you are finished. If you're just wanting to make it small like mine here, then 24 inches, like I mentioned in the tutorial next, will be sufficient for doing the binding. Once all of my tags are finished, I'm going to bind it together with ribbon. I have about 24 inches of ribbon here, and I did mark the center very lightly so that I know where it is. Now I'm going to take my first 3 tags and set them like this. So I have my first 3 tags here and my back 3 tags here, so you can see the back side of them. I'm going to take my ribbon first down through all 3 holes on the front tags on the bottom hole. Then I'm going to take my other end of my ribbon and go down through the bottom hole on the other 3 tags. So you should have something that looks like this. You've got your front tags, your back tags. The ribbon is through the bottom hole. The strings or the ends are out the back. Now I'm going to flip over and I am going to crisscross these. And I'm going to take my ribbon end and I'm going to take this ribbon end down through all the holes on this side. And then I'm going to take this ribbon end down through all the holes on this side to get the ends on the back side. Now I have my tags again with the ribbons coming out of the back side. I have them split in half right now. I'm going to just put them all together, stand them upright, and I'm going to pull them apart just a little bit so I have enough space, and then I'm going to tighten my ribbons just a little bit, and we will do this again at the end to finish this up. But we want to make sure that we have enough on each end. And now from this view, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to cross this one over here and this one over here. So this is going to create that first part of the corset. Now I'm going to set this down like this. I'm going to go down through the holes on each of these ribbons on each side with them crossed like this. Now I have my first corset here. I'm going to flip over and you're going to see just the 2 ribbon pieces going here across this bottom hole. We don't have the corset crosses in the inside. So we're going to go down through each of these holes again. So we're going to take this end through the second hole and then this end through the second hole onto the back side. Now each of the ribbons is to the back side. I'm going to flip back over to that back side, and I am going to crisscross and run these down through the holes in the top. Once I have those through the holes in the top, I'm going to flip over again to the back side. I'm going to run these down through the holes, crossed over like this for a final time. Now my ribbons are through the final hole. I'm going to flip over, and then I've got these very small little tails here on the back side. Now, if you cut your ribbons longer to make it easier for you to loop through the holes, then you can trim these later. But for right now, we are going to leave it just like this. And then we are going to carefully fold all the tags together. And now I am going to actually be loosening these up just a little bit to get this to sit flatter. So I want my pages or my tags to actually sit flatter so that they aren't pulling or lopsided in any way. So I'm just going to work my ribbons, giving a little bit more space and room in here. And I'm going to untwist them at this point too, so that they will lay flat. So take your time here and adjust your ribbons. Once you get the bottom one unflattened, you can then go ahead and start to pull these ones a little bit tighter. Keeping a little bit of slack in there, just so that you've got that room again. Do you see how these have more space than down here? So that's what I want to fix. So I'm going to pull my ribbon to give me a little bit more slack here. So it looks like it's sitting okay. So now I'm going to hold my tags on the bottom with one hand and just start adjusting this for a final time, making sure it's straight. Once I have everything adjusted the way I like it, I'm going to carefully take my top two ribbons and tie them in a knot so that they will not move anymore. Now, I don't want to pull this knot too tight, so I'm just going to very carefully take this and tie it into that knot here. Now, you will have more if you cut your ribbon longer than I did. You will have more ribbon here that you can tie a bow at the top if you want a bow here at the top of your ribbon. What I am going to do, I'm going to take my chipboard holly leaf and I'm going to tie another knot to hold this on so that it dangles from my spine. Just like this. And so instead of a bow, I have my little holly leaves here on my spine. And so now you should be able to move all of your tags. You want to make sure that they do move so there's enough room between them all. And if there's not, you'll have to go back and make some adjustments to your corset. So you need to make it tight enough so that it doesn't flop around, but not too tight that the tags don't move. Once my album is done, I'm going to go ahead and set it down inside the matching little wooden gift box that I made to hold the album. And I think this would make an adorable Christmas present for somebody. I hope you have found this tutorial to be helpful. If you would also like to see how the box was made, I do have a tutorial available on my YouTube channel, so you can go ahead and check that out as well. And if you decide to give this tutorial a try, I would love to see your completed album. Especially, I would love to see if you choose to use a different paper collection besides the Deck the Halls paper. There are so many gorgeous Graphic 45 collections that the opportunities here and the possibilities are endless. So don't forget to share those pictures if you do decide to try this project. And as always, happy crafting!